Hi, this is Teresa Momber, and here is a look at the card I'm going to show you how to create in today's video. Start by stamping the Nautilus shell image from the By the Sea 2 stamp set from Gina Designs using Memento Rich Cocoa ink onto white cardstock. To color, begin with Copic marker E37 in the darkest areas you want the shading. Switch to Copic marker E35 and blend out from the previous color. Now switch to Copic marker E33 and continue blending out into the open areas of the image. Use Copic marker E31 to fill in most of the rest of the image. Then use a blending pen to smooth the transition between the color and the uncolored parts of the image. After coloring, use scissors to cut out the image. Trim a piece of white cardstock to 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inches square. Then sponge along the top half of the cardstock using Memento Summer Sky ink. Switch to Memento Danube blue ink and sponge along the top part of the cardstock, blending into the lighter blue area below. Now, working from the bottom of the cardstock, sponge using Memento Desert Sand ink and work your way until it nearly meets the light blue ink. Use Memento Toffee Crunch ink to make the bottom of the cardstock a little darker. Sponge on the Toffee Crunch and blend into the lighter color below. Use a sticky note to mask the upper portion of the cardstock. And then sponge along the edge of the mask using Memento Bahama blue ink. Remove the mask and then create a wavy line along where you want the water edge to be to create a shadow using Copic Marker E33. Then add a little more color beneath that shadow using Copic Marker E53. Add some subtle shading to the sand using Copic Marker W1. Stamp the grass image, also from the By the Sea 2 stamp set, using Memento Toffee Crunch ink. Adhere your cut-out stamped image to the scene. Add some more shading to the sand under the grasses and under the seashell using Copic Marker W3. Switch to Copic Marker W1 to blend your shading into the background. To create some subtle waves in the background, use Copic Marker B00 and add some horizontal lines. And add some highlights using an opaque white gel pen. I'm using Faber Castell's big white pit pen. To make the highlights a bit more subtle, use your finger and swipe across the ink while it's still wet, and that will make it a little more transparent. Stamp the seagull image, also from the By the Sea 2 stamp set, using Memento London Fog ink. To add some texture to the foreground and make it look a little more like sand, add a bunch of random dots using Memento markers. I'm using Memento Markers Desert Sand, Toffee Crunch, and Rich Cocoa. Stamp the sentiment in the upper left corner using Memento Rich Cocoa ink. Adhere your scene to a piece of dark brown cardstock that's trimmed slightly larger than the original piece. And then adhere both layers to a 5-inch square tan card base. And that completes today's video. Thanks for watching.